Hey there, Kimberly Ryder here with Rubbish Restyled, and I'm going to take you through the process of what I did to create this look using Daydream's new Coastal collection by Worn to Whimsy. And I've had this piece for a while and I thought it would be perfect to use this paint on. I am starting with a base coat of salt water, and then I'm going to grab my favorite brush, the Helen. This brush holds a lot of paint, is perfect for base coating. One dip and you can go a long way on your piece, so I can get through it pretty quickly. So this has a lock where the wood around it was pretty beat up. So we're going to create a mold using amazing casting resin. Make sure to grab your gloves and your glasses, and you're going to mix 2 equal parts of part A and part B. And you're going to mix that really well. Usually when you pour it into a separate container, A and B, it'll start to turn a cloudy color, and then you keep mixing it until it's clear, but not too long that it starts to set. And then about 10 minutes later, you have molds. So here I want to make sure that the key actually fits through the mold, and it does. So we're just going to glue it on together. Here I used wood glue. Sometimes you can use E6000. And then I set it into place, hold on to it for a minute, and the glue is kind of oozing around the edges on this after I get it adjusted. So I'm going to take a brush and just wipe away any glue that is coming from behind and smooth that all out. And then I'm going to grab some tape and hold that into place so that nothing slides down and it sets. So now I want to make the diagonal planks. I only had a 1-inch yardstick handy, so I want them to be 2 inches. So I'm just going to outline or draw 1-inch lines across the whole front face of this. And then I'm going to tape off every 2 lines so that I have 2-inch planks, and then paint over the center lines. Let's begin taping these planks. So I'm going to tape off the bottom line and the top line of the 2-inch planks. And I'm going to have to repeat this process every time I paint. So as you can see, the first 2 inches I have open. The second 2 inches is where the tape is going to be covering. And I do that all the way down to the front. And then once I paint and fill in the lines, I'm going to take the tape off and repeat the process over the parts that I just painted. Hopefully that didn't confuse you completely. Okay, so now I've got my first set of painted planks. Once that's completely dry, I'm going to take the tape and tape over the parts that I have painted so that I can just have the background exposed to paint the rest of the colors. Okay, so while that dries, I'm going to make a template for the oars. So just have some craft paper laying around, and I just want the width and length of the actual square because that is where all these oars, and I want to fit 4 of them in there. So I'm just gonna kind of put my nail to give a little bit of a line instead of doing measuring and all that fun stuff. Okay, so I'm going to use a straight edge, part of it for measuring, but not so much, mostly for drawing the outside edges of the oar. So I've got the handle and then the base that I'm drawing in, and then I'm just going to fill it in roughly and make a shape. I'm not going to worry so much about the top or the bottom because I want each handle end and top to be completely different on the piece. So I'm going to cut it out, and we're going to use this as our template instead of drawing each one freehand. So before I trace the template, I'm going to make sure that I can fit 4 and that 2 are centered on the left, 2 are centered on the right. And it looks like 4 fit with this template, so I'm good to go. So I'm going to take this template and I'm going to just draw around each side, and I'm going to leave the top part open and the bottom. That part we're going to go back and fill in the curvature or the handle on each one. So now I'm going to make the oars a little bit different. So this one is going to have a little bit of a rounded knob end, and the top is going to be flat. The second one I think I have is a point, and so forth. So I'm just going to freehand all of that. Now I'm going to come in and just trace around with paint and cover all of those pencil marks, and then fill in each oar with paint. And this concludes part 1 of this piece, and be sure to watch part 2 for salt wash and finishing touches. And thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe.